All right, we're here with women's volleyball head coach Eric Visgitis, the next installment in our Coaches Spotlight series. We're on 6 rotations like we did for the season preview, Coach. You ready to make it happen?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Coach. So we'll start off here in position 1, in right back. Kind of one thing that interests me, how do people get into coaching? Like for me, I've coached little kids before. It was awful. I had no idea what I was doing. I couldn't teach them a darn thing. So I'm kind of just curious, how'd you get into coaching and what makes you want to be a head volleyball coach?
I think for me, and this could go with a lot of coaches, it's the love of the game, but also wanting to give back. I've been very lucky that I've had a lot of great coaches in my career, high school all the way to pro. And after learning what I learned from them, I want to give back to these amazing athletes here. And of course, having the love for the game, it's something I've done my whole life. Might as well keep on doing it.
Awesome. All right, Coach, year 1 for you as a head coach in the Thiel program, second year at Thiel in general. Just what can you say about being able to get this head coaching job to run the women's program and kind of just following the footsteps of some former coaches who've had good success here?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to have the trust to be able to do this job. Of course, working with Dylan Lasher and talking with so many other great coaches have been here has really helped. And I mean, especially with the ladies, they have been a big help as well. Of course, coming in as a first-time head coach, it's scary. I always thought being a player was tough. Being a head coach is way harder. So having them help and of course having the great staff here at Thiel help has been big. And I think me and my brother are finally starting to get a hang of things and things are starting to really roll. But no, it's been fun and we're always excited to learn more.
That'll be the next question for you right now. You get the chance to coach with your brother.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
You know what? It's amazing. Of course, when I first went to management with it, and I was just asking, kind of just hoping, and I was really like, I don't know if they would be okay with it because it's very unorthodox. But thankfully it worked, and you know what? It's been amazing so far. Being a player with him my whole life and now coaching, it really is a blessing that not a whole lot of people get to experience.
Awesome. All right, we'll kind of get into your more sort of recruiting strategies in a way. Just pretty much, what are you looking for in potential student athletes? Whenever you find someone in a high school or club, just what kind of traits do you want your student athletes to have and different things like that?
Of course, we want players to come here and match our culture, which is hard work. I mean, that's not only women's volleyball, but I think a lot of programs here at Thiel. So as long as they're bringing hard work and commitmentship, that's what we want. And of course, I mean, athletes who come in and be smart. You have a lot of freshmen come in, they may be very physical, they might be big, but they swing at everything, they're making errors, they're getting blocked. Especially going from high school to the collegiate game, it's a big change. So that's why we're looking for players who come in and have a big arsenal to their game and could really do a lot of things that juniors and seniors are doing.
All right, Coach, you're a former player, former D1 player at Mount Olive, former international player overseas. Favorite volleyball moment as a player?
Oh man, that's a great question. I think I have a couple, and of course going with being able to play with my brother professionally on the same team in the Bundesliga, that was pretty amazing. But collegiately beating, they were number 15th ranked George Mason at home. The crowd was amazing. I mean getting that win, which at the time I don't think the program has ever beat George Mason because they're an extremely solid volleyball school. So that was an amazing feeling. I mean, that's a tough question. I have so many. And I'm excited now to have the opportunity to have those type of memories as a coach here too.
Awesome. All right, Coach, we're getting into the difficult questions now of this Coach's Spotlight here. This is going to be a good one for you. Who wins in a fight, you or your brother?
The amount of times I ask this question.
It's a tough one here.
Luke is a bit taller. He's bigger. I know he's a bit, the bigger muscles, but I have that, that kind of ferocity. When I get going, it's called the rage. Whenever you just kind of go blank, it's just kind of rage. You know what I mean?
You lost me at ferocity, Coach.
Well, let's just say it would be a tie. It would be a good fight. It would be worth the price of admission.
Be an even battle.
Exactly.
That's a good way to put it. All right, Coach. We're in position 6, last rotation here, and this is one that I feel like I have the minority opinion on this. If this or that type of question, let's get your opinion. Having played in Europe, you should probably have a good idea on this. Is it pronounced libero or libero?
It's libero. It is libero.
No, it's not.
In Europe, they say libero. I say libero. I believe it should be announced libero. Could you explain to me why you say libero?
Well, no, so it's libero because the FIVB, the Fédération Internationale Volleyball people, they say libero, and that's where the game was invented. So if the originators are saying it's libero, it's got to be libero.
All right. I think to each their own, right? Everyone's allowed to have an opinion. I respect your opinion, and I would say mine's libero.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion, Coach. All right, guys, we just did Coach's Spotlight with women's volleyball head coach Eric Visgitis. Be sure to tune in the future for the next installment in our Coach's Spotlight series. Go Tomcats.